Hi, I'm Sandy Goss, and I'm the area manager for the Discovery Garden. The Discovery Garden is what we call our children's garden. We started this garden in 2011, and we wanted a place where children could come to the extension and have an area of their own where they could learn all about gardening. Everything from soils and water and different critters that live in the garden, from insects to bats and birds. And we wanted them to be able to participate in the garden, both planting and harvesting, and then always give them something that they can take with them when they go home. So we do all kinds of children. We try to make our topics. We always do a presentation. So we make our topics appropriate to the age group of the children that are visiting us. We do everything from preschool to high school. So what I want to do is take you around the garden and let each area has a manager that manages just that area, and let them tell you just a little bit about their area. Okay?
Excellent.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm talking to you today about my edible garden. Anything that is edible is in my garden. I have strawberries and I have a lemon tree, I have herbs, I have some vegetables from time to time, and I have fruit growing. So I wanted to talk to you about the Roselle hibiscus that I have going here. You may not have known that flowers are edible, and there are different types, but this hibiscus, you can capture the calyx from the bottom, dry it or freeze it, and then steep it in water and make hibiscus tea. Other parts of the plant are edible as well, including the leaves. They all have kind of a cranberry flavor to it, so they're kind of tasty, yummy. You can use it instead of cranberries. The plant originated in Africa, in Central and Western Africa, and it grows extremely well in the Gulf Coast area of the U.S. So it's a great plant for your garden if you want some tea to drink.
Tom and Dixie McLeod, and we manage the herb section here. What we do primarily is showing people how to use herbs as landscaping, as well as the other garden shows a little bit how to cook with them. But you can do things like putting lemongrass in a pot and putting a row of them down. That gives you a quite manageable border. You can use. Rosemary makes a really good landscaping tool to fill in. Thyme is always good as ground cover. So you can use these edible plants just for covering what you do for regular landscaping.
Excellent.
The purple shiso, something new. It gives you a purple plant, different color other than green in the garden.
What was it again?
It's called shiso. It's a Japanese herb. And we just happen to have a couple little pieces of it in here. So it gives you a nice flower mix.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
One of our favorite herbs in here that a lot of people have not heard of is called green pepper basil. And it's exactly what it sounds like. This green pepper basil is a basil, but it tastes like green peppers. It's a wonderful addition to a salad, to a sauce, or if you happen to like the aroma of green pepper basil and are kind of going for a Mediterranean aroma in your area, stick a couple of these in with your flower arrangements. One of the good things about this is that while most basils do not tolerate cold, this will tolerate down into the 40s before it becomes upset, okay? If it's below that, stick it in your garage, or it will die off, and it will generally come back in this climate. So we love green pepper basil, and like I said, it's an herb a lot of people have not heard of.
Welcome to our butterfly bed. From here on down, it's all for butterflies. If you start your own butterfly bed, you want to make sure and not use insecticides. That's number one. Put it in a sunny location, because it's really, you're after flowers. And basically plant things that butterflies like. Now, if you're after a certain butterfly, then research it and plant those plants. You want nectar plants and you want something called host plants. Nectar
Right.
plants are for the butterflies to drink, and the host plants are for the butterflies to lay their eggs on.
Okay.
And then the caterpillars hatch and they eat up that plant. So don't be surprised if that plant gets eaten up. But it'll grow back because these are very hardy plants. Some of the plants that we have here is our giant milkweed, which has taken off like crazy this
I
year.
see that.
Now it'll die down and it'll look like it's dead, and it's the last thing that comes out in the spring, but it will come back.
Whoa.
We also have I try to keep a lot of milkweed. Sometimes it likes to grow and sometimes it doesn't. Like right here is another milkweed plant. This year we haven't had very many monarchs, but I'm hoping
yeah.
that when they come down from Canada, that maybe we'll get that run on their way to Mexico. Right here is a Maypop passion vine, and this is a host plant to the Gulf fritillary butterfly, which is a little orange butterfly. And usually this plant gets eaten down to the ground, but it comes back. See, there's one of its fruit
Oh, yeah.
right there. But it has a purple little flower on it. And usually the Gulf fritillary butterflies absolutely love that. But anyway, so that pretty well ends my talk for today. Come visit us here, though, when we have lots of butterflies.
All right.
Welcome to the Square Foot Garden. This is an opportunity for you to grow a variety of vegetables, herbs, and flowers in a small space with efficient use of time, effort, and money. That's what Square Foot Gardening is all about. Here we have a mound of purple sweet potatoes. We were trying a new type of method called top hatting, and it got away from us, but as you can see, it is mounded up. There are top hats underneath. And then we have basil, and this trellis right here supported our cowpeas for this year. What we are doing in the fall, because there are 3 seasons, spring, fall, summer. But in the fall, what we're going to do is we're going to clear this whole bed out, and we're going to let the garden rest. It's been 7 seasons since I took over, and we're going to let the garden rest, and we're going to plant crimson clover. So we're very excited to see what that's going to look like. The crimson clover should get about 12 inches and have a beautiful flower on it that will be crimson colored. And so this should be a crimson blanket, if you will, for our winter presentation.
Excellent. I'll come back for that for sure.
Okay?
Anyhow, I'm Laurie and this is Sharon. I'm class of 2023, so I'm fairly new to master gardening. I like to dabble around and help with the garden art. Okay, this snake here, whenever we have open gardens in the spring, we like to have activities for the kids. And so we set up a table, and the snake is made from stones or rocks that the kids come and paint.
Oh.
And so if they ever come back to visit the gardens, they can find their rock and point it out.
Love that.
And these are stepping stones. It was a hopscotch. We had an Alice in Wonderland theme, and so it was like the 1 through 10 of hearts, but we're kind of changing up our theme a little bit. So I've taken it upon myself, and I'm slow as molasses. I understand. But I've done like 1 flower, 2 sea turtles, 3 little pigs. I'll do 4 frogs, 5 bees, things of that nature.
Okay.
Up through 10. These are the plants that actually kind of revolutionized or had a lot of big impact on history.
Oh, I was
one-
wondering what the theme
Yeah,
was. Very nice.
The first one is rice, and I think our rice seeds didn't take this well this year. But rice is actually a staple of 75% of the population, feeds 75% of the population. This one is cotton, and we all know the big impact that cotton had in the cotton industry. This is bamboo, and Sandy told me that bamboo was used in a lot of construction. It can get very, very big, and it's very, very strong.
And it'll get away from you if you don't have it in a pot?
Yes, it'll go. It's
So
very invasive.
recommend a pot, please.
This is sugar cane, and we all know the impact that sugar cane has had. It's a huge industry in the United States.
Have y'all tried breaking some off and eating it yet?
I have not.
Oh, we may have to come back and do that.
Yes, we might have to. This is a fun little thing. when kids come to visit, during open gardens, they can go up and they see their faces in the little mirrors. And we refreshed this, last year or a year and a half ago. That's one side of it. And I painted this side. Ta-da! And I did not make this up. I actually just painted over what was already there and used it as a guide.
Hi, I'm Barb Cutler. This is my garden area right here. When you drive into the parking lot, the first thing that you see is Humpty Dumpty sitting over there. He is the main focal, plus these two figures here in the front of the garden, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, and they just kind of put your eyes on the flowers that are here. But Humpty came to us years ago as a purple beet from the Master Gardeners in Galveston, and Sandy decided, well, we needed something for children's, not a purple beet, so she decided on Humpty Dumpty. And the theme right here is actually Humpty Dumpty. And the story behind Humpty Dumpty is, and you try to remember back as a kid, how far back you can go. It starts in the 1600s when they thought of people who were kind of chunky or chubby as a little round and rotund, and they called them Humpty Dumpties. One of the ones that was a Humpty was one of the kings, King Richard III, I think. But then as time went on, it kind of got to, well, there's a rifle that when they had a disturbance they had to fight another town with, they called this big old thick cannon rifle Humpty Dumpty too. Then as the centuries progressed in the 1700s, this story became developed into children's books. There never really was a person per se initially called Humpty, but it just kind of evolved over the years to mean somebody's a little round and rotund like a little egg and a very happy jocular person. When they had the war, the Humpty cannon got shot at and it fell down off the wall of the city itself. And they never could put Humpty Dumpty back together to put him up on top of the wall. So that's how you'll hear it when you read the book about Humpty Dumpty fell down and never could put him back together again. But he initially was not an egg. There's nothing to do with egg. It's just a round kind of body figure. As we walk around, you'll see Yaupon is, and with the flowers that we have today in the fall, we have bluebonnets that develop in here, come in the early spring.
All right.
You'll see here in front of Humpty, blue. That's why it was started out initially a blue bed, but there's really only one kind of blue flower, and that's the bluebonnet. But we put the balls in here to get your attention too, and the bottles on the tree. So they like shiny things, and they wanted the bad creatures to go away, the witches back in the 1700s, the 1600s. So if a witch happened to be flying by in the area, it wouldn't bother them because the witch would fly away. But if she saw her face in the mirror, that really made her fly away. And then they put up bottles of blue on a tree that too, the witch might not see itself, and it would be caught in the bottle, fly into the bottle at night, and get trapped and couldn't come out. So the bad things were actually deterred by the color blue.
I'm Randall Norton. I'm going to talk a little bit about irrigation here in the Discovery Garden. Like many of our other gardens, we use drip irrigation system. We use like 1/2-inch supply tubing and 1/2-inch emitter tubing. And the emitter tubing has little bitty emitters, otherwise valves, that let out so much water, which in this case is a little less than a gallon of water an hour. We also use supply tubing going to individual emitters where we can adjust the flow according to our need, for instance, our pot plants. And finally, we have 1/4-inch emitter tubing for special areas as well. This goes together with our rainwater collection system, and we save and conserve water by getting the water to the ground where it needs to be and not evaporating as we spray. But it gets it to the ground and gives us a strong root system. And that's basically our irrigation system.
All right.
If you're interested in doing a tour of the garden or bringing your children up here, if you'll call the main office, we'll set up an appointment for you. We'll find out how large a group you have, what age children you have, and we'll find appropriate topics for them, or if you have a special topic that you want the kids to learn about, if you'll let us know, we can address that as well. All right? So we look forward to seeing you here in the Children's Garden. All right.
Thank you.